Wow. I just realised I've been talking for this entire last 15 minutes and I forgot to switch my mic on. So you probably wondered what the heck I've been rambling on about. Huh. Oh well, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you can hear me now. So yeah, hopefully that's coming through a bit clearer now. I turn my mic on. Oh well. Fun games. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to mix up some of this flesh tone from the Reichland flesh shade, and I want to try and get somewhere sort of in the middle using the Bugman's glow and the Rakarth flesh. So I'm just trying to get a nice sort of mix, just really lighten, take some of the grey out, and yeah, that's starting to get that. What I'm going to do is just grab a little bit more of Rakarth flesh now. Trying to get a nice sort of tone again. That's actually looking quite nice. Nice mix there. So let's grab. Yeah, let's grab this guy. I absolutely love the freedom you get in Space Wolves to, yeah, just to make them just that little bit different. I think, you know, it's fun to be able to put together a chapter, not just be sort of consigned to having to use all the sort of codex compliant rules that most of the successor chapters adhere to, but yeah, they're a very, very individual. I still think of the Space Marines still as their sort of first founding legion, really, of the Space Wolves as their first founding legion. Okay, that colour is actually looking a heck of a lot better. I really like that now. So you can see we're just starting to get a different flesh tones now. I'm going to mix a little bit more of the Bugman's glow into this, just darken it slightly. There we go. This guy has got a huge look of anger on his face, so maybe he's been slighted, or one of his battle brothers has fallen recently, and he's really looking for vengeance against the Xenos scum. Got the paint a little bit too thick on this, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water to my brush and just lift it out the recesses here. Oh, hey Joe, how's it going? Let me spin back my normal mic up a bit then. Is that okay? Okay, so hopefully that's a bit better. And oh, hey, Soviet Gromit, you're been a few weeks. How you been keeping, mate? You all right? So let's see, what should we do with this guy? Got 4 down. I really want to do something a bit different for him. So I'm going to add to the general mix some of the kids left flesh, just to put in that so that it's got a bit more of a yellowy tone. Yeah, I've been keeping well, mate. It's lockdown. This is another paint of mine that I really should look at replacing at some point. It's, yeah, completely separated actually. I'm not even sure whether that's going to be usable. See if I get enough tone on there. Sorry about that. My teenage son seems to think it's quite amusing to come in and fart while I'm streaming. So yeah. So Grandma, I think last time you were on here, you were saying you were working on some orc models you had? Be great to hear how you got on with those. So, yeah, the Gretchens, yeah. Have you looked into any particular sort of orc warband at all? Are you still? Oh, the big fella. Oh, you got the yeah. That comes with the runt herd, doesn't it? That's quite a cool sort of orc to look after those pesky little gobbos. Yeah, have you thought of a particular warband or war or something that you're looking at, or have are they sort of goth clan snakebite, or are you just doing what I think most orc painters do, and which I think all orc painters do, and that's just have a lot of fun with them. Okay, let's give it a good wash. Yeah, quite like that. That's nice actually. So I've got a nice range of flesh tones that I've worked out here from our jaundiced friend here, which is probably why he's looking so angry, to be honest. Through to sunburnt Jedwood. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the washes, and again, I just want to kind of mix it up a little bit and try and do some stuff I've not done before. So, I normally just hit them with the old Reichland Flesh Shade, which is a nice sort of general flesh tone, and I'm going to have a bit of line and medium on hand for this. I'm just going to switch over to a slightly larger brush for this, which will be our Yeah, Wargamer Regiment. I like to get a quantity of medium out first. Absolutely the last thing I want to do is pollute this bottle and get any colours into it. So I've probably got enough there to play with now. So yeah, let's pop out a bit of the old Reichland flesh shade first of all. And that's your very sort of typical sort of red, bit of brown in there. Let's just grab some of that medium across just to... Problem with Reichland flesh shade is that if you put too much on in one hit, it really it can really sort of overwhelm. So I do like to mix in and just thin it down a bit. I find thinning with the washers, if you thin them down using a acrylic medium rather than just going straight with water, it actually keeps the consistency of the wash quite nice, but just reduces the amount of pigment in the paint. So yeah, reasonably heavy wash. What I want to do is try and capture all these bits sort of around the eye, where the bits of the Vox controls are all sort of on there. Also at this stage what I'm doing is just looking across any scars. This guy's got quite a nasty scar down his across his eye here, so I just want to make sure I get that picked out, and we'll once all this is dried we'll go into that in a bit more detail. Have I done my plasma sight yet, or the so I haven't got... I've done my Plasmancer and his 2 Cryptofrauls, which I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. And actually I need to edit that video, so I'll probably try and get that done in the next few days and get that uploaded. Haven't done my Canoptic Reanimator yet. That is something that I'm quite looking forward to. A really nice big model to get my teeth sunk into. The other thing that I'm working on at the moment is, if anyone's following me on Twitter, I've got a Stormfang gunship, and you can see some of the bits here. It's really starting to come together well. Just starting with all the pin lining on it. The other thing I've done is actually magnetized the whole thing, so I'll probably run over that on a video, or when I finally finish it I'll probably show it on here one week. But yeah, it is nice to get those big sort of vehicle models. Right, now what I want to do here is add just a smallest bit of Carroburg Crimson. So just level up the red in this wash, and perhaps even got a bit too much in there. Okay, and I'm gonna try this on our Jedwood head. Yeah, I'm going to try and aim for him to be quite sunburnt. And it's all right at this stage if it, with these washes on faces, if it looks a little bit strong, because when I come to do the highlighting on these, that'll get dulled down fairly rapidly. Right. Now, okay, let's line them up here. That might work. Okay, so that really has given him a very sort of red face. So a little bit. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of seraphim. Now I hope I don't have to go back over and redo any of these washes, because I've got no chance of no chance of remembering what combinations or quantities I've used, but hopefully it should stay good on our palette for a little while. I was going to pull in a bit more of that medium to water it all down. Oh, quite like that actually. That's going to look nice on Lemmy over here. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you've not got Space Marine Army if you haven't got Lemmy in there somewhere. Rest in peace. Absolutely amazing band, Motorhead. I was really privileged to see them live a few years back. Quite a small stage at a big festival, so really up close and personal. But my goodness, they were loud. Absolutely incredible. Right, I think I've actually got a shade there that I really like for this wash. I'm just going to add a little bit more Reikland to it. Just darken it a little bit for our last couple of faces now. You'll see me when I'm working with the washers, I'm constantly cleaning my brush out. If you get any paint up and into the ferrules at the top here of the brush, you'll then send the, well, you end up with a brush that looks like that, which is one which I've nicely ruined. And especially with the washers, the capillary action in the brushes can just suck that straight up to the top and into the ferrule. So it's important to get any loose pigment out of there before it dries. Oh yeah, that's good. Now, no long plaited beard on this guy, but tell you what, that he, with those scars across his eye and stuff, that looks like the antithesis of Space Wolf to me. And again, our other, I don't know why I say our other angry looking Marine, they all look pretty racked off, but I'm really looking forward to lockdown to be lifted and actually being able to get a few games of 40k done. God, love the family to bits, but really want to try out some of the the tactics and stuff against some other opponents. Oh, this guy's looking good now. Yeah. Now that's going to take a few minutes to fully dry. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to switch back to the shoulder pads. Have a drink first, but I'm going to switch back to these shoulder pads because it'd be nice to get the black sort of painted in on the wolf head, and if we get time tonight, it'd be nice to try and put some sort of claw pack markings on their right hand pauldron as well. Let's see. So oh, I am definitely up for a bit of Wolf and Beast versus Vietgram. It will, yeah, I think that is a matchup that's that could well be happening as soon as we can meet up. Right, this pot has just about had it, but I did treat myself to a new pot of Abaddon Black. Been watching too many of the proper GW videos, and we always call it, I don't know why they call it Abaddon when even in the Black Library audio books it's Abaddon Black. Anyway, Abaddon Black, yeah, rambling away now. Yeah, I did treat myself to a new pot of that, so I might be reaching for that shortly. Okay. Now it's key. It took me a while to build up that those layers of yellow. So I'm gonna kick this off now. I'm gonna be really careful. It's quite watery, so it's gonna set fairly translucent. But that's good because it means it'll sort of give it some sort of natural highlighting going on. But I'm probably going to go back and highlight these a little bit more. Okay, I just want a slightly finer brush. There we go. Oh, I'll tell you what, guys, I've had a lot of fun this week reading through Codex Death Guard. I think, as I was saying last week, this was one codex that I was eagerly anticipating. My other main force that I've built for years has been Death Guard. Always enjoyed the Plague Legion. And I'll tell you what, the book really did not disappoint. Actually much happier with it than the Space Wolves Codex that came out near the beginning of the release. Yeah, sort of last October, November time. Which was alright, but it just felt that it was sort of lacking in sort of the depth that I'd come to expect with these GW releases. But yeah, wow, the Death Guard release is absolutely superb. You managed to get hold of a copy then of the 8th edition. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the 9th edition Orc Codex as well. I want to see what we're going to bring in, because I guess we're going to have like much more around the Gazkul Tharaka and Maraki, you know, with the sort of upgrade that they did with the Prophecy of the Wolf set last year, which was still 8th edition, but right at that borderline time. I think there's some big movements going on in the Orcs at the moment, and I think we could be in for quite an exciting time with them over the next few years of lore. I was listening to the Lorehammer podcast it's from about 2 or 3 years ago now, from Orcs, and they had the most amazing sort of when they ran through all the colours, because all the Orc colours, and this is what I love about Orc lore, all the colours mean something, everything has meaning for them, and actually quite complex, but you know, with all the colours, things like red makes it go faster, and stuff. But one of the bits that really made me chuckle was purple is a sneaksy colour, because have you ever seen a purple orc? I think that's just pure genius. Right. Oh, new pot time. Yeah. It's always weird when I've gone from having one pot of paint that I've used for a very long time to a new one, because the consistency that I've grown used to invariably changes, and it always catches me out, and I either go too thin or too thick, and this time I think I might have gone too thin, but let's see. No, too much paint on the brush there. Let's just get some of that off. So yeah, so your grandma, it was Orc's going to be your very good. Are Orc's going to be your primary faction then? Because I know you were sort of having a look round at what you wanted to go with. Oh, just need the money for it. Well, that is the big thing with this hobby. Although the Orcs Start Collecting set, I don't know what GW are going to do with it when they don't know what GW's plan's going to be for the Start Collecting set when they switch it over to one of the new Combat Patrol ones, but that is fantastic value. The amount of models that you get when you start collecting Orc is pretty impressive. You get your boys, you get a set of unit of knobs, you get your, what else do you get in there? You get your pain boy. Yeah, definitely a really good value way of getting into Orcs, and probably worth snapping up that Start Collecting set before it vanishes, because whatever they release for Combat Patrol, it's not gonna, you can bet your bottom dollar it's gonna be a hell of a lot more expensive. How are we doing? And yeah, just to do a little sneaky plug, if anyone is looking to purchase stuff at the moment, I've got an affiliate link for the Wonderful Element Games sat down in the about information. I do get, full disclosure, I do get a small kickback from them, but I'll be honest with you, I've been ordering all my stuff from them recently because it's quite nicely discounted, really good service from them. So just a bit of a shout out to those guys, and if you want to support the channel, use the affiliate link. If you don't, leave that up to you. really struggling a bit with shakes tonight, which isn't what you want when you're doing fine detail. So all of them. Quick look around here. Yeah, that's starting to look quite nice now. Yeah, that start collecting set is 51 quid, but you know, it's probably there's probably way over £100 if you were to buy all the bits separately. Anyway, I do like that Orc Death Dread in there. Well, I'm going to have to get my hands on one of those at some point. Okay, what should we go for now? So let's have a look at our heads. Are we dry yet? A little bit longer on that one. So this guy's looking quite good. So let's kick on with him. Actually, what I'm going to do. Well, no, what I was going to do was paint the neck bits in black, but I don't want to touch them yet. So, what have we got here then? Yeah, nice light tone. So I'm going to start off with, I'm after my nice sort of highlight for that. Where should we kick that off with? I think I'm going to start off with a Kevlar flesh. Oh yeah, the dread mobs do look awesome. So a miniature that's been around ever since I've been in the hobby, and I never got one back in the 80s and 90s, but I keep looking at them now every time I look at the Orc models of the killer cans. And they are absolutely fantastic looking little models to yeah, just to give you that sort of, you know, Gretchen in a giant, well, not really giant, but Gretchen in a fighting suit, and the fact that those little boys are as likely to shoot at the runt herders and the orc bullies as they are at the enemy just strikes me with a lot of fun. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm just building up a layer with the Kevlar flesh, Kislev flesh. I'll get that right one day. Oh come on, let's get a decent amount of it. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is just catch the higher areas sort of across nose, eyebrows. Try and make sure that shading stays deep in the recesses, but just try to find the spots where just a little bit of detail. Now what I want to do, I'm going to leave that scar down his eye looking a bit more angry for the moment. And just want to just put a bit of a subtle layer up here on his head, so I don't want to go mad with this. And this will dry really transparent, which is exactly what you want when doing highlighting flesh. Yeah, I don't know, this is so so small. Is this coming through okay on the video with what I'm doing here? I don't know whether it's actually staying in focus or not, but one of those odd things. Actually, shall I see if I can zoom the camera in a bit? That might help. Of course, this is now where it all goes horribly wrong. Okay, that's a bit better. I just need to grab a bit more lighting down there. There we go. Cool. Right, let's... Oh. You've got blue tack on your chin, mate. You don't want that. Still a bit wet. In fact, I think Jedward now. Right, okay, so he is definitely looking very sunburnt. Now what I want to do is just going to really... it's dried already. Right, any of you guys use wet palettes? Because it's something I keep toying with the idea of learning how to use a wet palette. I'd just be interested to know if you guys use them, how you find them, are they easy to start with? Just be really interested, because I like the idea of being able to keep my paint sort of workable for longer. So one of the problems I have with highlighting straight onto the old Rakeland, sorry, straight over Bugman's Glow, is that it's quite a deep, warm colour, and I find that unless I mix it just right, I either end up making him look like he's got really, really blotchy skin, or I just lose that depth altogether. What I'm really trying to do here is just add shade and detail as opposed to anything else. Now, yeah, he's got these nice little worry lines on his forehead. I think I want to see if there's a way where I can just bring those out into play a little bit more. And there we go. Yeah, I've got quite a nice mix now, so he's looking, like I said when I first started with this, guy's looking nicely sunburnt, being out snowburnt in the Fenrisian wastes, hunting his various beasties, and is now coming home to sing some very bad pop music and eat his kills. Right. Cool, right, so we've got another guy here who's very, yeah, got very dark, but I'm going to mix in. So I just want to make this just slightly lightened even more. Here's a question. When I'm painting these, I never give them painted eyebrows. You know, I never give them eyebrow. You know, they've always got sort of shaved brows. What do you reckon? Should should our Marines be sort of plucking, or should they have, you know, have great big bushes like a granddad? So, I am so tempted to give him really bushy eyebrows. Okay, he's starting to line up quite nicely. We've got our anemic guy and we've got Jed Wood at the other end of the scale, so getting a nice sort of balance in between. I really like the scars as well over it. I think this one's looking like it could be our sergeant. Try and get a bit more colour going here. Okay, let's pull some. That's better. Okay, that's now a nice flesh tone. So let's see what we can do with old crew cut here. Oh no, what have I done? I've given him great big pale eyebrows. Just use my finger just to dab off and just to take some of the paint off. Okay, so that's definitely too pale. It's a nice sort of colour, but I need it to be a bit darker for this first highlight. So, I know we always say when you're layering that you shouldn't be worried if it looks too bright, but it will sort of matte down as it dries. But I don't know. I just never believe that. Okay. Oh yes. Starting to look a bit like Van Damme from Universal Soldier there. Right, he will be Vince. This one does want the lighter highlights. So yeah, sorry. So I was saying earlier about the new Death Guard codex. Yeah, I think GW have done a really nice job on pulling their lore sort of forward a little bit. The sort of units and the tainted cohorts and stuff. I know the idea's been around for a while, but what I really like about this, and something that they've done over the last Death Guard release, is they sort of removed the colour schemes and stuff and basically given a lot more freedom to sort of vary those out a little. I'm going to start painting my Death Guard any other colour than Death Guard green. Probably not, but it does give me some nice ideas for putting in some sort of customised unit markings and honour badges and stuff for them. So yeah, really am liking this new update. Yeah, Gromit, you said about using the you're looking through the older sort of 8th edition Orc codex. I don't know if there's any of you other guys who are watching at the moment, if you've got any codexes that are either new into 9 or you're looking forward to coming out in the near future. Right. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to move this out. Kislev flesh. Why can I not actually pronounce that? Goodness. And again, I'm going to start. I'm just going to add a little bit of flayed one's flesh to it. So now what I want to start doing with these heads is just, yeah, really starting to look at the areas where we want to make them that a little bit lighter. That was a stupid thing to do. Get a bit more of that on the palette before I start mixing. Also wash the brush before it. So yeah, when I'm mixing, especially for layering, I like to sort of stick and be able to see the transitions. I don't know how well that's coming across on the camera, but it's nice to sort of get the transition from one to the next, because it just means you can really get that that sort of very subtle blending. There we go. And now I'm really just sort of focusing on ridges and really hoping that that's going to dull down a little bit, because that is very, very bright on there as it's first going on. Now there we go, bit of water in it. Trying to keep that scar that's running down. Something there, brush is too wet. Trying to do here is just very, very lightly. I want to try and catch the ridges of those lines that are going across his head, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Let's just line things up on the top here just a little bit more. Lighten up his ears a little bit. Yeah, so I'm not talking much over this. It's taking all my concentration not to just go bah with the brush. Absolute nightmare. Checking at least I've got the right glasses on this week. was fun last week. Yeah, quite happy. I don't know whether that. So if we could get that to come into focus for you guys. But yeah, really happy with that. So, head numero uno. Now what I want to do is just sort of almost go up the blending scale, so start with my next sort of lightest one, and again mix that flayed one's flesh and the Kislev flesh. Oh, I really want to do a good job on this guy. I'm really liking the way he's looking. He's got this like massive gouge down his in his head here, and I'm really keen that I just pull that up. Hey, has he got some earrings in there? A little bone. That's fun. I've just noticed in his ears, and I'm just going to pick them out now with the flayed one's flesh. He's got some little sort of bone. Well, I don't know whether they're earrings or what, but I want these to look like maybe teeth off some Fenrisian beast that he's tracked down. So what I've just done here now is, what I've just done here now is got the paint on a little bit too much, and while it's still wet, what I've done is clean my brush off and just got it loaded up actually with water, and I'm just going to attempt to try to sort of blend that before it sort of goes in permanently. That's a shame. Actually, no, it's not too bad. I can go with that. I can live with that. Let's just pull out the ridge of his chin and his lips. So what I'll do is I'll probably pop some black in the mouth in a little bit, and we can then sort of paint his tongue in. What did I do with your spare head? Spare head number 2. There we go. Red Dwarf reference there if there's any any Red Dwarf fans. It's one of those cool series that I just every now and then have to go back to and rewatch. Right, I just want to try and see, have I got any of this that's still right? Sometimes I find if I just dig around a little bit with the knife, I can just find just enough pigment on here. And let's just mix that in and try and get us a nice little gradient going on. There we go, let's see. That's really thick, I don't know whether that's going to work. That's very wet. All right, let me. Trying to do is see if I can even load up my brush with enough paint that I can actually use to put that subtle layer on. Right, let's mix that into there. Right. Deep breath. Am I don't know if I'm the only one, but I just get to that point where I'm coming to do highlighting and I'm almost scared to actually go in and start painting on the miniature. I don't know if any of you guys watch Goobertown Hobbies. I mean, if you don't, I'd highly recommend his YouTube channel, as I have on more than one occasion. But he has the saying about paint bravely, and even a podcast called Paint Bravely. So with that, here I am, I'm really painting bravely with this. Now I'm not 100% convinced on this one. What I'm going to do is let that dry, and if it still looks just a little bit garish, what I can do is just give it just a very light wash of the Reichland Flesh shade, and just try to sort of darken those highlights a little bit. Right. So I'm going to need to have a nice sort of dollop of Bugman's Glow, assuming I can get any out. There we go. There's my little palette knife gun. Okay, I'll mix that in there with the I don't even know what this is now. It's a combination of Reichland Flesh shade and Flayed One's Flesh. So that is actually feeling maybe a little too dark, but let's use him on Jedward and see. At this stage, it's a bit better for it to be too dark than too light. So yeah, actually, that's quite a nice. Yeah, I'm just getting right above and under the eyes there. That's actually looking really nice now. Much more subtle blend than it was on the others. So real case of less is more with this as well. Doesn't catch things like his nose. Again, I've got these worry lines which I want to kind of there we go. Yeah, definitely start now. That's what we're after. So he's definitely looking less like Jedward and more like James Hetfield. So what do I want to do now? Maybe even slightly lighter. So So I always find that getting the skin tones right is the hardest part of this. Made a right mess of him. So that, I don't know if you can see that there, is what not to do when you're highlighting. Highlighting the skin, which is take the gradient much too bright, much too soon. Now, a few options that you've got with this, and what I'm going to do actually is I'll use the wash again on it. So I just wanted to add a little bit more of the old flayed ones here. I don't want too much, I just literally want to lighten that up. There we go. Maybe even a drop more in there. There we go. Got some nice transitions going on there now. Pink like a newborn baby. There we go. Right, so just going to try and just very, very slightly. I just want now just the very, very sort of highest point. So really trying to show his sort of facial structure now more than actually trying to sort of paint detail here. We're just trying to hint at, yeah, definitely looking a lot more angry now than Jed would. Let's see, can I get that to focus? Oh, camera seems to be glitching a bit at the moment. Right, what's happening? So, tell you what, I'm just going to try and... Okay, how's that looking, guys? Is that still glitching, or is it looking a bit better than it was? So once these layers are done, next thing to do, I think, will be to start on the hair. Yeah, here's our boy with his big sort of scar going on down here. So what I want to do is just be very careful to try and highlight the areas around that, and not to actually sort of cover it, so it just makes that a really nice sort of angry looking flesh there. And definitely think we've got a good candidate for our sergeant there. Love to know how he got that scar. Was it back on Fenris during the Great Hunt, or was it in some distant galaxy fighting off sort of Xenos? Did an orc manage to get close enough to him to take a chunk out of his face? And yeah. I wonder whether he's got some bits of that cheeky orc that managed to get close enough to scar him, but he certainly decided not to get those scars repaired. He wants the world to see the damage and the survival of being the Legio Astartes. Cool. Right, well that has taken me a heck of a lot longer than I thought it would, so let's kick off with some hair. And again, same with the flash shade, there's loads of different colours that we can use for the hair. I want to try and avoid the sort of cliche sort of blonde hair. One of the things that I did want to do though was have a guy with more sort of white hair, and there was to give them this sort of look. So I'm going to pick. Now what I found is that characters with more sort of mohawks and stuff look better with a lighter hair, whereas sort of people with Marines which still have sort of more of a full head of hair, as it were, going on, are often better off with darker colours. Yeah, I'm actually going to do Lemmy with Lemmy's trademark dark hair, so I'm going to start off with Wraithbone. And he's bald, so that's not going to work. Where's our guy with a mohawk? Yeah, I think our Sarge, a veteran of many years campaigning. His hair not grey, but very, very light. What I like about the sculpts on these miniatures is that there's actually a lot of texture, and when I'm putting hair on like this, what's key for me is to put it on as thinly as possible, even if it means I've got to go back and do quite a few layers to build it up into a solid colour. But what I want is for that texture that, yeah, some guy back in Nottingham, and I have just blown it. No! Right. Ultimate fail now. I think some of this should be dark enough just to... There we go. Yeah, and this is why I want to start thinking about using a wet palette. So these paints, you know, if you do make a mistake, and especially when you've been blending and mixing them, it can be an absolute nightmare to try to get the original colours back, which is what I really, really want to avoid here. So we'll let him dry. And let's go from one extreme to the other. So let's get out our... trying to think now which black to use actually on here. I think, yeah, I'll go back to the Abaddon black. And let's find Lemmy and give him of hair. In fact, what I want to do with that, I just want to add just a little touch of Rakarth flesh to it. So I just want to make it, rather than it being jet black, I just want to give it a bit of a sort of just a bit of grey in there, so it's not completely black saturated. And well, that's looking nice, because what I'll do is I'll cover it over with a wash of Nuln Oil, and then I'll put some very sort of light highlights on it. That's what I hope is going to happen. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to stick my brush up his nostril, and it's going to go incredibly wrong. Right. And let me where art thou? That's a phrase I never thought I'd hear myself saying. Okay, my brush is way too wet. There we go. Okay, I've added a bit too much water to the paint, so it's not going on smoothly. So nothing in this game is unfixable, so I'm going to just add a little bit more black to it, just to thicken it up a little. That's better, it's going on better now. When painting on hair, what I tried to do is start and try to paint it as sort of in the direction that it's sculpted. There we go, this is looking good now. It's nice here because it's sort of picking out that bone sort of in his ears with that. Yeah, I quite like that. That's got some nice contrast going on in there. I'm quite glad I didn't go for the completely jet black hair, because that looks quite unnatural, and I don't know, somehow I can't quite see Space Wolves going down to our local Boots and getting getting a bottle of the old Garnier to other brands, of course, are accepted, available even, but yeah, I don't think I have ever read about an Astartes anywhere ever dyeing his hair. So, trying to get as natural a look as is possible on a tiny little plastic toy. There we go. Yeah, I was looking quite the beeswax now. So what have we got left? We have Jedward, and we have what did I say? Yeah, we've got Van Damme here as well. What do you guys reckon? What colour should I paint paint the hair? Of course, looks like my camera's just stopped again. Let me deactivate and reactivate. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watching want to suggest what colour I should do these last two guys' hairs. Save me getting colour paralysis. Okay. I think I am going to, let me grab a deep brown. Yeah, I think I'm going to hit Jedward up with a bit of Rhinox hide. Just gonna, yeah, I'm going to do him in pure Rhinox hide. So it's always a nice little. Just get his goatee looking good, and not just like he's vomited a squirrel. I use a palette, I mean I still leave the pot of paint right next to my hand, right where I'm going to go and knock it over, and so far I haven't knocked one over on this channel while I've been streaming, but I have certainly knocked paints over in the past. What are we doing time-wise? We're doing alright actually. Might not get the old glue out tonight, but we should get all these finished off. There we go. Yeah, Jedward's definitely looking a bit better now. And I'm going to take that Rhinox hide, but I'm going to add this this black to it, so really darken it down. I did grab down the old Mechanicus standard grey as well to have a think about that, which I might use in some of the highlights on some of the hair, but let's get as much of that in there as we can. I don't want, yeah, that's just giving us a really nice dark brown. There we go. So that's bringing it all quite nicely together. Vince is definitely looking good here, ready to ready to go into battle. Cool, let's have a look at our boys all lined up now. Missing a head. Right, who's missing and where are you? Ah, Jedward. Always lurking away. There we go. So we're now looking like... There we go. So take that, circa M41. That is the craziest boy band I have ever seen. Love it. Absolutely love it. Cool. So next stage on these heads, what I want to do is just sort of focus in now on some of the sort of high detail. I want to let that hair dry a little bit before I do any washes and highlights on it. So I'm going to focus in where we've got open mouths. Which is 4 of them. Oh, trying to work out whether to go for eyes next. Oh, big decision. Right. Eyes are an absolute nemesis for me. Hate them. So let's do that now. And I'm going to switch one of the few times when I go to a really tiny brush and insane detail from Wargamer. I don't know what this is in sort of regular brush sizes, but it's pretty bad, a 5.0 or something ridiculous. So what I want to do is start off first of all by picking out. Now I've got a nice recess shade in there, but what I'm still going to do is use a black to... No, I'm not. So I've been reading in Burning a Prospero that they talk about the Space Wolves having sort of yellow eyes, very sort of wolf-like. So I'm not going to go full yellow, but I think I have... What's that? No. What I'm going to do is use the Citadel layer of Shabtibone to colour in the pupils. I just killed my camera again. Definitely seems to have stopped updating. Come on, camera, you can do it. Okay. We might have a premature end to the stream if I can't get the my camera's finally bitten the dust. Activate. There we go. We're back. Cool. So I'm just getting the smallest amount on my brush here. What I need to do is try and keep my self as steady as possible. I want a really fine point on my brush here, and literally just, what I don't want to do is go over any of the shading on there that I've done. There we go. One. Ah, ah, ah. Okay. And this is where, having really spent the time with the in the earlier stages and not putting in too much paint, means your actual eyeballs are in there in detail and should be accessible. There we go. Old anemic Eric here. Okay, so constantly cleaning and checking my brush with this. I want just the barest minimum of paint. Now I'm going to leave. I knew I was going to do that. If you do overspill, it's key not to panic. If you can get your brush as clean as possible, a bit of water, and you can just, before it's dries, there we go, just been able to blend that back out, so all is not lost. There we go. And just get Jedwood. There we go. So it's got just that yellowy sort of hint of the eyes now, which, you know, something that I always associate with the Space Wolves. You know, I think of those sort of wolf eyes where you've got the yellow and the black sort of pupil, and yeah, really kind of aggressive looking. Now what have we got? We have, is that still viable? Yes, it is. Beautiful. So bit of the old Abaddon black here, and what I want to do is literally just catch the very pupils on here. So just trying to put a dot dead central in the eye. I'm constantly checking my brush here to make sure the bristles are good. There we go. Cool. I think I've actually got it with that. going to leave his other eye actually milky, so where he's got that slash across his eye, let's see if you can see that there. So we've got one eye done, one eye milked out from the scarring. So while I've got the black here, I'm also going to any Marine with their mouths open I'm just gonna paint inside there. There we go. Yep. Now, this is about as good as I can do with eyes. I'm not one of these people that will go in and paint sort of across the iris and do black onto blue, or I'm putting a bit of white as a highlight, but just the black onto a, well, for Space Wars onto a creamy base, I think is just how we want it. Right. See if I can capture that intense Lemmy look. Have I made Lemmy cross-eyed? Damn it. There's always one in this process that you look at and you just think, you know what, I'm going to have another pop at that one, and this is... this is that one. Okay, give that a few moments to dry again. That's better. Yeah, glad I went back and did that. Actually, this guy here now, Van Damme, so now that has sort of dried a bit more, he's not quite looking as crazy as I thought he was. So I'm going to just pick the tongue out on those which have the tongue. And for that scream of pink. It's if you actually look at your tongue in the mirror, it's not actually. It's more sort of pinky than red. So nope. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Again, same as with the eyes. When you're doing the tongue, really is a case of less is more. You know, however, we're painting these guys. We're not actually painting Gene Simmons, so. Cool. And just want to pick the teeth out. Back to our Wraith bone, and again, this is just the smallest of detailing onto here. Okay. Yeah, and really what we're doing here, we're not aiming on giving them a full sort of set of pearly whites. It's just that sort of hinting at. There we go, right. So apart from maybe doing a little bit of highlighting on some of the hair, the only thing left to do is to paint around the base of this in black, and the base in black, little bits of silver around it, and glue them in. So there's our fifth head. Here we go. So and let's switch back to a proper size brush. And perfect. Need a bigger dollop than that. There we go. Good old. Still trying to get rid. Just a little bit of water on there to thin it down a little. Not a lot. Oh. No, I always end up forgetting these bits, and then looking back at the miniature, feeling very proud of myself, having finished it, and suddenly realising that I'd not painted in the strange little neck pieces. So always want to remember before you finally glue them into place. Okay, that nicely brings us to the end of today's episode. So what I'll do on these models before next week is I'll just paint in some of the metal work, the metal banding around the back of the heads. I'll get them stuck in, and next week we can start having a look at belt pouches, backpacks, and even make a start on basing these. So thanks for everyone who's watched all the way through to the end here, and I'll look forward to seeing you very soon for another edition of Midlife Crisis. Bye for now.